Balter means to dance, essentially to dance badly, but with great enthusiasm, which really is all everybody does at the festival. The vibe creators are the ticket holders, the crew, the artists, the people that just come and we just give them a platform to kind of go wild, basically. We've got metal bands, we've got punk, reggae, there's drum and bass, there's gabber, there's people playing ABBA songs in the disco tent, there's a bit of everything.
It's a big kids' playground, really, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. That is definitely the look we're going for, the big kids' playground. That's what people want, isn't it? Real life sucks, you know? So you can just get through the gates, forget about all that, and just 3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe, of just creating your own little worlds.
One more thing.
Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of One More Thing, where instead of interviewing a DJ or an artist, I'm interviewing someone just as important in the music industry and the infrastructure. I'm speaking to a festival promoter. So we're going to learn about behind the scenes of Balter Festival. Elias, how are you, man?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm really, really good. I'm really excited to talk to you. And first of all, thank you very much for having One More Thing come down and host a takeover on the Thursday in the Hex stage.
No problem, man. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Brilliant. The Thursday is a pretty special day for you guys at your festival, isn't it?
Thursday, people have just arrived. It's very much more for the kind of true fans of the festival come on the Thursday. Special vibe, people have just got there. They're excited to go. Just a couple stages open. So it's going to be good, man. Your takeover is going to be really popping off.
What is the most important thing about a festival to you?
The most important thing for me, it's got to be the vibe, hasn't it? You can have good music, you can have amazing stages, everything like that. But really, I think people go to a festival to hang out with their friends, to be in a good vibe. And that, for me, is definitely what I look for when I go to an event. Obviously, we want some great tunes. We want it to look good. But you just got to have all your friends around you, and you're just there to have a good time, a good weekend.
Yeah. Vibe, I think, is so hard. Everybody talks about vibe, and you can feel vibe when it's there. It's not something that you can synthesize in any way, really. It's either there and it's original and it's, you can feel it, it's tangible, or it's not. A vibes kind of create themselves, really. It's having the right elements in place, really, isn't it? So what are the most important ingredients to ensure that vibe is intact and authentic?
Yeah, with Balter, we've always just kind of let it do its thing. For us, the thing that really makes the festival, I think, is the people that come. So we just provide them with a space to do their thing. We give them a bit of music, put some stages on. We do all of that, but the vibe creators are the ticket holders, the crew, the artists, the people that just come and we just give them a platform to kind of go wild, basically. And over the years, they definitely create a vibe of its own, for sure. It's almost a surprise how special it is, but then it's not, because they do it every year. We see some of the same faces every year, and they're great. And the minute they get there, Thursday afternoon, it's popping off, and it's till Sunday night. It's always special.
Take me back to the very first Balter Festival.
First Balter was back in 2014. We did a quite small event in a venue called Baskerville Hall in Mid Wales. This is basically a big mansion house where we had a stage outside that was just, I think it was a 15 by 9 marquee, which, for those who don't know, is basically a very small marquee with a tiny stage in it. We had Dead players, we had Disraeli playing, Dr. Syntax, and then in the night it all moved inside the hall where we had 3 stages, and it was just a rave. It was a free party, basically. In a venue. It was great, and loads of the people that played there, loads of the people that came are still involved, so we had Mandy Dexterous playing, we had like Dusty Moonshine were playing, loads of people that, over the years they've grown huge, and we've kind of, they've always been a part of the festival with us.
My first Balter experience was the last year's one, and just walking around, you've got like metal bands playing on little stages. It's all of the little kind of secret nooks and crannies, as well as the main acts as well. And that helps with the vibe, doesn't it? When you're not everything is just rolled out for you. You've got to find stuff and get involved and explore it, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're not just a drum and bass festival or a band festival. We really try and push a little bit of everything. So as you say, we've got metal bands, we've got punk, reggae, there's drum and bass, there's gabber, there's people playing ABBA songs in the disco tent. There's a bit of everything. And I think that's what you want. You get bored if you just listen to the same music for all day or for 3 days. You want a bit of variety. We definitely try and push that as wide as possible. The first year Basketball Hall, there was around 700 people there. As I say, it was pretty small. The following year, we brought it outside and came down to Chepstow Racecourse. And there was around 1,500 people the second one. So for us, just that, it was our first festival out in the field, dealing with Harris fence and security and fence jumpers and all the kind of stuff that comes with an outdoor festival. So for us, that was a big leveling up then. Which is crazy, because now we have more than 1,500 crew, but in those days it felt like a huge event for us, and then since then it's just kind of grown exponentially to last year there was 6,000-7,000 people on site, but each year we kind of look back at how it was last year and find it hard to believe that that's how we did things, because it's just had to grow and we have to push ourselves each year.
I'm blown away by the fact you've got 1,500 crew. Like that highlights just how much goes on behind the scenes, that people, while they're busy raving away, having fun with friends and enjoying everything that the festival is there to be enjoyed about, behind all of that is a team which is almost a third of the size of the actual audience there, really. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's a huge undertaking and a responsibility then when you've got a team that size, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you look at all the artists, and then you got the security and stewards and bar staff, and yeah, it adds up, man. It's a whole, the festival is a whole ecosystem of people. It takes so much to put an event like that on. So many people are involved, and they're so important. People might think they've just got some small role steward in a gate, but it's so essential to the running of the event that everyone that we've got on there, we need them there.
It's a big kids playground, really, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. That is definitely the look we're going for, the big kids playground. That's what people want, isn't it? Definitely.
Like, things are hard for people at the moment. People can't afford stuff. So once they bought a ticket, they do want to leave their worries at the gate for a couple of days, 4 days, 3 days, however long they can do. They want that playground. They want to be able to go, right, okay, I'm going to forget about bills. I'm going to forget about work, deadlines, or any of the pressures that we have in normal life. That's what we want. I think that's why festivals have become so popular, I think, over the last few years, perhaps.
Absolutely. And real life sucks, so you can just get through the gates, forget about all that, and just 3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe, of just creating your own little worlds, with your friends, with some new friends, with some people you'll almost definitely never ever speak to again. Just have loads of fun, and then get thrown back into it again on the Monday and with deep regret.
It's Posai at Balter Festival. What's going down, Frank?
Shit's going down, people are partying, tents are around the main stage. I love this shit. It's awesome. It's like a 1 second walk to the main stage if you're sleeping. That's awesome.
And it's also the only other 2 festivals I can think of that have ever done it or do it is Glade Festival and Glastonbury, and that is the faith again that you have in the audience, the punters, the community of ravers are being allowed to camp in and among the tents. And I think that's something that does completely encourage vibe, because you're not feeling like an outsider and you have to go past security and then check your bag and stuff every time you want to go to an arena and experience some music. the ravers are part of the festival.
100%. And, you know, we are firm believers that the campsite is an important part of the festival. We're always trying to have, you know, like roaming sound systems going through the campsite, and, you know, that half the party's there. So it totally makes sense to us that the campsite should be very much linked and inextricably a part of the festival as a whole, rather than them being two separate areas. So without a doubt, that's something we've always been very keen to keep, and kind of have the campsite surrounding the stages as much as we possibly can.
When does work start for the next event for you?
So, I mean, you'll probably go home on a Monday. We'll be there until the Friday, getting everything off site and packing down. And then as soon as that's finished, we get home. We definitely have a few days of pretty non-stop sleep. And then there's a good few weeks, maybe even a month, of still wrapping up this year's event. You know, there's endless little bits of paperwork to do. People need pay-in. There's forms that need filling in. You know, there's a lot to do after the event. And then we'll have already started thinking of 2024 already by then, you know, especially kind of lineup and headliners and stuff like that. You know, we usually start throwing ideas around for that whilst we're on site. So 2024, you know, it starts pretty quickly, but we do try and take a few months off. Part of the beauty of Balter being at the end of May for us personally is that we can then have the summer more or less without having to do too much Balter work to do. So we can attend some other festivals and just, you know, make the most of the summer ourselves.
Yeah.
But from September, October, we're definitely very much back in it.
Wow. So that's literally 9 months of work there, really, isn't it?
Yeah. For us, we're a small team. We're a small team that work around the year, but yeah, it is pretty much a solid 9 months to do 4 days of festival.
Wow.
Wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
It's really hard work, but you're clearly fulfilled and inspired by it.
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. When there's 4,000 people dancing away to some band or DJ or something, and everyone's loving it, yeah, it's amazing.
Brilliant. So obviously it's always at the end of May, but the year before last it wasn't. It was September because of COVID. So how badly did that affect you guys as an independent festival? And are we still feeling the effects of that in any type of way?
I mean, COVID obviously had a massive effect on everything. The events industry for sure, you know, took a huge hit. The year that we couldn't run, you know, we put tickets on sale at the end of 2019, and then we finally threw the event in September 2021, having had to cancel it, keep planning for a new date, cancel again. The amount of work that went into that one, you know, was pretty crazy. In the end, we were fortunate enough that we were able to, even though we planned for the event in May, we managed to do it in September. We were able to find a date with the venue. For us, we were lucky to be in the right place at the right time. You know, we had a great event. Everyone really enjoyed it. Because there weren't any of the big ones, the Glastonburys, the Boomtowns, these kind of thing. People were just really excited to be outside, I think. You know, excited to be reconnecting with friends, people they might not have seen for a year or two of lockdown. You know, just trying to process the crazy thing that just happened to everybody. So yeah, so I mean, it was we had a great weekend. It was a good time for us. But dealing with the aftermath of it, I mean, I think the after effects of COVID are definitely still being felt by everybody. And compounding that with the current kind of cost of living crisis and everything that's going on at the moment, it's a difficult time for events. Yeah. People are, you know, a little bit nervous about spending a lot of money, which of course I totally understand, because, you know, we all have the same problems. But yeah, it's definitely a crazy time at the moment. I think hopefully it'll get back to normal soon, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I know it's really hard for promoters, and the whole ability to forecast ticket sales based on previous events with a similar lineup or on a similar date is no longer possible. There's a little bit of a take up with early birds, then there's a last minute rush, but in between there was a bit more of a pattern to ticket buying behaviors which no longer exist these days, I think, is what I'm getting from a lot of promoters at the moment, from small events to huge events. Like,
yeah, it does seem to be like that. I think people's buying attitudes have definitely changed. It definitely makes it hard to predict, which is, does make our life really quite difficult because we just don't know what's around the corner. All we can really do is just focus on the fact that we know we're going to throw a good party and it's going to be a good event for the people that come. It's already going to be super busy. We're in a good place with ticket sales. We're not too worried about that. So yeah, come in May. It's going to be great.
And you guys are independent, and independent festivals seem to be dwindling quite a lot in the face of big corporate machines. What are the challenges you face there?
Money. Money is obviously the biggest problem. All these things cost, an insane amount of money to do. Just not having that financial backing, I think, is a difficult thing. You've got to sell the tickets to be able to pay for everything. So, to put a lineup out, you've got to sell a certain number of tickets to be able to get enough money to pay the deposits for the artists, to be able to release the lineup. Just not having that kind of constant financial backing that you might have as a corporate event. I think that's got to be the biggest problem. But as you say, the amount of freedom that you get through being an independent event definitely makes it really worth it.
Definitely. Does it influence how you curate a lineup as well? Because some artists might be off limits because they have exclusive deals and stuff like that with other events. So has that led to some really cool lineups, which you possibly wouldn't have got if you'd had a bit more backing and gone for less risk averse lineups, if you know what I mean? Like your lineup is really exciting. It doesn't look like anybody else's lineup. Same last year with like the Venga Boys and stuff like that. So does it encourage more creativity from your curatorial perspective?
To be honest, I don't think it affects us too much because we don't really book the kind of artists that might get stuck into these kind of corporate deals. We definitely look for more of a niche lineup. Our crowd want more of a niche lineup, and as you say, I think we do. We are different from other events. There aren't many festivals like this in the UK, and that is definitely something that we go for. Maybe we just like weird music. I guess that's just how it is. But fortunately, a few other people do too, so we'll have fun.
UK crazy ravers in the house, yeah?
Speaking of weird, what is the weirdest thing that has been handed into lost property? Obviously not including the obvious stuff, but actually, I will say a big up on the community of Balter, because as we've shown in my video of Balter last year. There we go, we're here with Vibes. How's it going, chaps?
I've just had a mini heart attack, as you know.
Yeah. Now this is the beauty of Balter. This is amazing. Tell anybody who cares to watch this, what has just happened to you in the last hour or so?
I left my bag in a portaloo with all the USBs in it.
And your passport and your car keys and everything else.
And my jewellery and my fucking glasses, my watch, everything. Like when I take a shit, I like to take it all off, Dave. I need to be comfortable. And
I've got questions about taking jewellery off before you have a shit, but let's keep to the programme here. Right, so this is how good Balter is. What happened then? How'd you get your bag back?
I handed it into lost property after 20 minutes and I got it straight back.
Go on, that's amazing. The system works.
The crowd are great. So we do just really get a lot of things handed into lost property. You get wallets still full of money, stuff like that, which is fantastic. And it's actually, my mum runs the lost property, so she has to deal with the weird and wonderful things that do get handed in. I think the best thing that I can remember was when a few people turned up with a big duffel bag that looks like a dead body, basically. It's on video as well. And then a person just climbed out of the bag in the middle of lost property, which kind of got a few screams. And yeah, that's probably, I don't know if that's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing I can say on camera as to what's been handed in anyway.
What did he do? Did he have a ticket? You can't kick a man out when they've gone through such an ordeal.
I think he had a ticket. To be honest, it was great, but I do feel like they should have actually played dead for a little bit longer because I think he gave the game away too quickly.
Mum runs the Lost Property Office. This is a family organisation.
Yeah, it's a family ordeal. Yeah.
Wow. Has she always done the Lost Property? Have your family, have members of your family been involved in Balter in that type of way?
She's been doing it for quite a few years. Yeah, like my aunts and uncle come down. Yeah, I mean, members of the family are involved on both of our sides. Yeah, I mean, as I say, Balter's definitely a family thing, just through our friends, through literal family. Yeah, you know, people want to be involved. It's a nice event. So
yeah,
it's nice.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. That makes it even more wholesome. So what are the biggest nightmares that, you know, lose you sleep as a festival organizer, owner, promoter, whether you're on site or in the run up to it? What are the biggest nightmares that you can, you know, that weigh on your mind while you're having the responsibility of putting on such an event?
I mean, I'm not a superstitious person, but I should probably be touching a lot of wood whilst having this conversation. But, obviously weather, you know. I've been through Boomtown and Glastonbury and stuff when they've had horrendous weather, and you know, I think a small event like us would really struggle with a really wet one.
But also, I think the type of people who come aren't like, they know what to expect. They're free party types, and free parties have gone on in all types of crazy conditions.
Yeah, they'd be absolutely fine. The crowd will be fine. They'll be sliding around in the mud. They'll have a great time. But you know, if we were getting vehicles stuck in, you know, this, that, the other, I can just see operationally being stuck under 4 foot of mud wouldn't be too much fun. And you know, ticket sales, these kind of things are things that you worry about. Obviously, you can have disasters on site, which would be horrendous. But touch wood, this year will go off without too much of a hitch.
On the flip side, what are some of the most beautiful Balter moments that you've had? Either because I know you DJ as well, so maybe from behind the decks, when you get a rare moment where you're not being, you know, like running things and thinking operationally, and you're actually thinking as a performer, or just when you're wandering around and you've seen something beautiful. Like, do any kind of stand out? There must be loads, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to name one, but it's always a nice moment when you've been doing the week and the lead up and it's super busy, and then the first day and you're just running around, you know, non-stop trying to get the last little bits done, the last few bits of Harris that are lying on the ground out of the arena, stuff like that. You can finally open the gates, everyone comes in, finally sit and have some food because you haven't eaten in 12 hours, have a beer, just sit down and watch everything. That's always a good moment for sure.
We are going to launch a DJ competition, aren't we? And that DJ will be one of the first DJs to play at the event, because Hex is one of 2 big stages open on a Thursday. So effectively, this winner will be opening up the festival in kind of theoretically, or one of the very first DJs to get people dancing. Both you and I and a crack team of other judges will be checking out all of the entries. But what are you looking for specifically when you're thinking from a curator point of view, from, you know, what are you looking for from performers when you're in this type of situation? What are you looking for from the winning mix?
For the winning mix, well, as you say, they're going to be opening the festival. The Hex is one of the biggest stages we've got. You know, it's a very important stage. It's a big set for someone to play. So we need it's got to be very much vibes, isn't it? It's got to be kicking off. We're going to get people dancing. People will be coming ready to dance. So, you know, all it really needs to do is cater for people that have already got itchy feet, just to move them a little bit more. So obviously we want it to be well mixed. We need to be professional, nice blends, but we want something that's really going to get the party started.
Yeah, go on, that's amazing. And one more thing, we'll continue that party all the way through the Thursday and set the benchmark for the rest of the festival. else are you looking
Yeah.
forward to? I mean, I guess you can't pick favorites once you've got a lineup. You can't really pick favorites, but that's what I'm asking you to do. Who are you looking forward to chilling and hopefully taking a bit of time out and actually being able to watch some of?
I mean, so I booked the vast majority of the lineup, so that is a pretty difficult question to answer. I think that the Wurzels are going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
They might not be everyone's cup of tea musically, but let's be honest, when there's several thousand people drinking scrumpy, singing on songs like Common House, that's going to be funny.
Yes.
A band called Paranoid Void, who are a three-piece Japanese math rock jazz band who literally no one will have heard of, but they're going to be amazing on Saturday on the Pyramid stage.
Wow.
I don't know. There's so many. Glade Palling from Belgium, who's from. Yeah, he's going to be awesome. There's too many. There's too many that I want to see. I'll miss all of it, you know. Inevitably, I want to see loads of it, and I'll end up watching like 5 acts, and I miss all those ones I just mentioned. It's going to happen.
What else does the world need to know about Balter right now?
The world needs to know that 2023 is going to be a great year for Balter. Balter means to dance, essentially to dance badly, but with great enthusiasm, which really is all everybody does at the festival. So make sure you come along, get your tickets. 25th of May, Chepstow Racecourse is the place to be.
It is the place to be. Elias, thank you so much for joining me on One More Thing, and I will see you very soon on Chepstow Racecourse.
Thank you very much, Dave. I'll see you there.
One more thing. One more thing. One more thing.